Mitrang ba ka jela Conrad ke sang mau la Kular bena Shong lang bar unoilam ka Voice of People's Party VPP ba Ardent mila ba semai lembat kiwe KMLA banyo Pule lang ya ka Kaiphod ka expert committee halo ka bah thungkam ma ka jela ya kan ne Conrad la patina hapo in ba thawan taksi haba jubab ya ka jingatai halo ka ne kamat ka balawan ra do MLA kanong krem ba Ardent mila ba semai hak bala simentalang Dr. Mukul M Sangma udah noilam ka persya MLA kan not Shillong ba ada bat nongrum cắt bà cái bà buôn cái MLA kan thup nak leng sansia bak leng pasya kim simla simenta ha kan ne ki jing tai ha ba ju ba lo ka ne ki jing tai ukon da ong ba kan ne ka mat ka dei ka bas er bha bat ha ban perkhat sani bha shwa ban la lo ong ba ka expert committee ka dau shai bat ka dau bnia ha ka kai phot ya ki dau blai ban penne ya ka bha thungkam ha ka jala kum ba ka long menta.
As you will recall, a committee comprising of all political parties was constituted on the 26th of May 2023 for discussion on the implementation of the reservation roster system. So in the course of the meeting and discussions, the committee has recommended to the government the formation of an expert committee to review the state reservation policy. So the government notified that an expert committee will be formed to review the state reservation policy, which shall consist of experts in constitutional law, economics, sociology, demographic studies. In view of the above, a search committee headed by Chief Secretary to the Government of Meghalaya was constituted. On the recommendations of the search committee, the expert committee on the state reservation policy Meghalaya was constituted on the 12th of September 2023. So the terms of reference of the committee were: 1. To study the current reservation policy and recommend modifications if necessary. 2. To undertake wide-ranging consultation with all stakeholders and visit various locations of the state to solicit the views of all stakeholders. The committee has been given time frame of 12 months with effect the date of issue of notification to complete its task and to submit its report, recommendation, suggestions to the state government. The committee was headed by Justice Retired Moolchand Garg, the chairman, former judge of the Madhya Pradesh High Court. Justice Retired Dr. Satish Chandra, member, former judge of the Allahabad Court. Professor D.V. Kumar, member, Professor, Department of Sociology, NEHU. Professor Chandrasekhar, Professor in Department of Fertility and Social Demography, Indian Institute of Population Science, Mumbai. Professor Subhadip Mukherjee, Assistant Professor of Economics and Public Policy in IIM. So the tenure of the committee was extended in 2 stages. Dated 25th-9, the tenure of the expert was extended for a period of 4 months with effect 13th-9-24 to 13/1-25. And again further extended to 14/4-25. So the expert committee had convened various meetings in the period between November 23rd and January 25th to deliberate on various aspects of the reservation policy. These meetings provided a platform for in-depth discussion, review of existing practices, examination of relevant data, and formulation of action to be taken by the committee. So in the process, large number of communication, views, suggestions, comments were received. Approximately 1,024 letters, emails, posts, and representations from across the state. Of these, 547 were deemed substantial, while the remainder were cryptic, repetitive, or empty. Only 547 substantial representations were considered. The expert committee held public hearings in Shillong, Tura, Williamnagar, and Jawai. No person was denied the opportunity of hearing. 3rd to 5th of October 2024 in Shillong, invitations were sent to 93 participants, 93 groups or individuals, out of which 43 actually attended. From 2nd to 3rd of December in Tura, invitation was extended to 193 individuals/groups, out of which 46 attended. On the 4th and 5th of December 2024, Williamnagar, invitations were extended to 249 individuals and groups, out of which 12 attended. 6th December in Jawai, invitations were extended to 9 individuals and groups, out of which 4 attended. So after receiving these comments and suggestions from the stakeholders, the expert committee then invited these individuals who had given the comments and suggestions. So the report was submitted on the 6th of June 2025 at Meghalaya House, New Delhi, which was received by Shri D.P. Walang, IAS, the then Chief Secretary to Government of Meghalaya. So the report is structured into 4 parts, comprising a total of 21 volumes and spanning 4,667 pages across all chapters and volumes. Part 1 comprises Volume 1 and 2. Volume 1 contains 4 chapters, namely Introduction, the Tribes of Meghalaya, reference to the committee and working of the committee. Volume 2 comprises the next years. Part 2, Volume 3 contains discussion on reservation, its historical background and judicial pronouncements along with annexures. Volume 4 to Volume 12 consists entirely of annexures. Part 3 comprises Volume 13 to Volume 27. Volume 13 contains discussions on representations, public hearing, and details of petitions submitted before the Reservation Policy Review Committee. And Volume 14 to Volume 27 consists entirely of annexures. And Part 4 comprises Volume 28 to 31. I stand corrected, sir. It was 18, I'm sorry. So Volume 18, so it was 13 to Volume 18 earlier, Part 3. And this is Part 4 comprises of Volume 18 to Volume 21. It's in that Roman X and I, and also I just got confused a bit. So Volume 18 contains technical inputs by members on the conceptual and historical context of reservation policy, population prospects of the state of Meghalaya, with a focus on scheduled tribes and scheduled caste, and the socio-economic status of various districts of the state of Meghalaya, along with an appendix. And Volume 19 includes discussion on the questions to be considered and findings of the committee and recommendations of the committee and annexures. Volume 20 and Volume 21 consist entirely of annexures. So based on the discussions, the views of stakeholders, the legal principles involved, and the mandate of the committee, the following questions have been identified for consideration in formulating the committee's recommendation. 1. Can the reservation policy be proportionate to the population of a tribe, caste, community, or class? This question addresses whether the reservation should reflect the population demographics of specific communities in the state. Second question, should the reservation policy be based on religion and minority rights? This pertains to whether reservation should be extended on the basis of religious communities or as a minority rights issue. 3. Can the committee propose extending the reservation to educational institutions in the state of Meghalaya? The committee needs to assess whether reservation should be expanded beyond government jobs to include educational institutions. 4. Can the committee propose improvements in educational standards for specific areas or communities? This examines whether the committee should make recommendations for improving educational infrastructure or standards to uplift specific communities. 5. Is it a valid recommendation to extend reservation to economically weaker sections within subclassified categories? This question revolves around the proposal of extending reservation to economically disadvantaged groups within existing categories like SCs, STs, and OBCs. 6. Should the carry forward system remain in the reservation policy of 1972? This concerns whether the carry forward system, where unfilled reservation vacancies are carried over to the next recruitment cycle, should continue under the existing policy. Question number 7, should a quota within a quota system be introduced as per Supreme Court judgment in the state of Punjab versus Davinder Singh? This addresses whether the Supreme Court's judgment that allows for quota within a quota for more backward groups should be applied in Meghalaya. Number 8, is the introduction of a creamy layer concept necessary? This refers to whether a creamy layer, where economically advanced individuals within reserved categories are excluded from benefits, should be considered. Should reservation be implemented for persons with disability? And should they have separate reservation? This examines whether persons with disability should receive separate reservations in light of Supreme Court's ruling and constitutional provisions. Should residents of local area or districts be given preference in district-specific jobs? This is about whether local residents should be prioritized in government jobs based on the district they reside in. Is the resolution dated 12/1/1972 a reservation policy or not? This seeks to clarify whether the 1972 resolution constitutes a formal reservation policy or merely an administrative guideline. 12. Should the reservation roster be implemented strictly? This addresses whether the reservation roster system should be enforced rigorously to ensure that reservations are allotted as intended. 13. Should the state government streamline the recruitment system to meet public expectations? These pertains to whether the state government should improve and streamline the recruitment process to ensure efficiency and meet the public's expectation. And 14. Does the reservation policy of 1972 need any changes? This is a central question, asking whether the current reservation policy as established in 1972 needs to be modified or remains effective in its current form. So the findings for issue number 1. Can the reservation policy be proportionate to the population of a tribe, caste, community, or class? There have been numerous representations by stakeholders advocating for reservation to be granted to tribes of Meghalaya proportionally to their respective population. The Honorable Supreme Court has consistently emphasized that the population of a particular community or class is one consideration in determining the percentage of reservation, but cannot be the sole criteria. The Honorable Supreme Court of India in M.R. Balaji versus State of Mysore, 1963, and Indraswamy versus Union of India has held, and I quote, the relevant factors to consider while classifying backward classes would be their traditional occupation and profession, the percentage of literacy or general educational advancements made by them, the estimated population of the community, and the distribution of various communities through the state or their concentration in certain areas, unquote. While drafting the 1972 Office Memorandum, the government of the time allocated 40% reservation in jobs to the Garo community and 40% to the Khasi and Jaintia communities. In the opinion of this committee, the government of that era, based on the data available, correctly distributed the reservation percentage after considering all relevant aspects. However, over the past 50 years, significant changes have occurred in the socio-economic conditions of these tribes. Despite these changes, it appears that the differences among three tribes remains largely the same even after half a century. The Honorable Supreme Court in Patali Makal Kachi versus A. Mayile Rumperumal and ORS 2021. I apologize, sir, the word is very long and complicated. I could not pronounce it well. Further observed the following, and I quote, the argument that reservation should be based solely on the proportion of population ignores the dual purpose of reservation.